Since the late 4th century church councils got the 27-book New Testament right, how can Protestants say they got the 47-book Old Testament wrong? As the late 4th century church father Rufinus mentioned in his commentary on the Apostles' Creed, he writes no less than 5 times that the canon, both Old and New Testaments, were passed down by their forefathers. And his list includes the 27-book New Testament, but only includes the 39-book Old Testament that later Protestants adopted. One of Rufinus's and the Council's forefathers for the New Testament would have been Athanasius of Alexandria, a doctor of the Roman Catholic Church, whose Old Testament was nearly identical to the Protestant Old Testament. Another of his forefathers would have been Origen, also from Alexandria, whose New Testament was also identical. So this identical 27-book New Testament list is what the late 4th century church councils would have adopted, rather than the councils determining, defining, or even declaring. Plus, Origen's Old Testament was identical to Rufinus's, adopted by later Protestants. The reason the Council's Old Testament is different is because, as Augustine mentioned in his On Christian Doctrine, the councils based their canon lists on what the, quote, greater number of Catholic churches and greater authority of churches, end quote, accepted. This means while the 27-book New Testament was virtually universally accepted by the churches in the West, the 46-book Old Testament wasn't. So these local church councils' canon lists were more of a democratic determination based on what contemporary churches at the time embraced, rather than adopting it entirely from antiquity. Click the link on the screen where I had an in-depth discussion with my friends Turretin Fan and Dan Chapa, where we reviewed arguments for how we can be certain the 66-book Protestant Bible is indeed true, in preparation for their upcoming debate on Standing for Truth on March 28, 2025.